Hello viewers, it's Sentai Michael from Screen Review, bringing you a new podcast of my separate called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to beat your heart during this art podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, then you're good to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, with this and everything else out the way, let's get into the latest episode of Gozyuger. So basically, we see so basically the episode starts off like this. So basically we see how working at a shrine, selling good luck New Year's to eat ornaments and whatnot, and Kinjin was just visiting the shrine and whatnot, and also seeing how he's doing. Now, as you know, Korn's body, Korn had been transferred to the Gargano sword caliber 50, and basically, Korn is inside the Gargano caliber 50 sword, and basically, he was inside Hal's pocket, since Korn is now inside the Gargano version of the caliber 50, Hal carries that sword in his sleeve and whatnot, and basically, Korn was like, your method of selling New Year's Eve is it's kind of dull, and basically quiet, we don't want nobody to see you like this. So basically Kinjin was wondering how Kinjin was telling Hal that I'm wondering how things are going at the cafe with their new getting their new hire at the cafe with your landlady. So basically we cut to the cafe, and basically we see Ryoga and Riku trying to convince the landlady to hire Lady Bouquet, and basically Bouquet was was being nice to Hal's landlady and Hal's and the landlady's son as well. So basically, sorry, her name is Sorry, Hal's landlady was Sorry, and basically she was like, you can hire her as a waiter, as a waitress and whatnot at the cafe, and basically, Bouquet, Ryoga, and Riku were happy that that Bouquet got hired as the waitress of the cafe owned by Sorry, who is Hal's lady, and basically Sorry whispered to Bouquet, I'm glad that you're Riku's girlfriend and whatnot. And basically, and Bouquet was like, what? No, me and him, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. Just to be clear. And basically, it seems like Sorry's son, who seems to have a crush on Bouquet as well. So anyway, we see that came in, it's and basically what's going on. So basically talking to Lady Bouquet, she said I got on the new waitress of the Tegasort Cafe. So basically, good to you. So basically, you guys are still hunting the rings, talking about the Sentai Ring. So, but how many Sentai rings are out there, still out there? And basically, I should have said there are only 2 Sentai rings left to collect. So basically, after he said that to there are 2 Sentai rings left to collect, we see So basically, we see how along with Kenshin walking, it seems like they were done at the temple and whatnot. So how was done with his job at the temple shrine, and it seems like they were walking back to the cafe. Out of nowhere, we see a portal open up in this red origami this red origami crane. She appeared out of this portal and transformed into a ranger called Origa Red, and basically like I'm here to challenge you for the rest of the Sentai Ring, to challenge your work for the rest of the Sentai Ring. So basically, how it's like Oregon Red, he never heard of this new Red Ranger. So basically, this Ranger is based on one of those Sentai, sometimes Toei will give a fan the opportunity to send in their original Sentai design. So basically, that's where Oregon Red comes from. He's the original Ranger made by a kid, and whatnot. So anyway, so basically Oregon Red showed him that he had the Kakuranger, he had the King Ogre ring. He showed that I had the King Ogre ring. So basically, that's Tensui, that's Tensui ring. Tensui, who used to work would have at that supermarket, at that supermarket, who was the Red Sentai Ranger of the King Ogre ring and whatnot. So basically, Oregon Red explained that your friend decided to give up being a Sentai warrior, and basically he decided to not rely on the Sentai ring, and not to get involved in get involved in this whole collecting the ring Sentai rings anymore. So basically, I met him and he basically gave the King Ogre ring and whatnot. So basically, if you wanted, you have to fight for it. So anyway, so basically, Kyle and Kendra were about to do battle, and out of nowhere we see a bunch of different foot soldiers coming out of nowhere starting to attack people, and basically Oregon Red, Hal, and Kendra defeated these different foot soldiers from past Sentai and whatnot, and basically and Oregon Red said that, gather the next time we meet, we will make sure that your whole team's with you and whatnot. So anyway, after that, we're encountered back at the cafe, and basically Hal and Kendra was telling him, the detective about Oregon Red. It's he's probably a different Red Ranger from a different universe. So basically, there were. The current Sentai rings, were set in this universe. There are different universes. So basically, he's from a different universe. So basically, he's the original Sentai Oregon. So basically, he's saying that Oregon Red is from a different universe. So basically, he didn't fought his Sentai didn't. His Sentai or Mecha didn't fight in the Catechism War. That helped me defeat the Catechism and whatnot, and basically whatnot. So basically, Tekisora was you guys will have to since he has the King Ogre ring, you guys will have to deal with him at some point and get that ring if you guys want to collect all the Sentais, and whoever collects all the rings, who collects all the Sentai rings, get a wish and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the number one the No.1 world, we see Volcano in the castle by himself, and we see Mr. Shiny Knight and Miss Sweet Cake show up, and basically was convincing, was getting him some good news that that Lady Bouquet is working at the Tegasword cafe. Clean Tegajin is it's been hanging been hanging with with the Tegasword and Goodburn as a family, and figuring a way to atone and make the world a better place without forcing change and the tone to work. Tone to our sins and whatnot. So basically, Mr. Shiny Nice and Miss Sweet Cake was there is a you could change as well. You could be a part of the hidden world as well. And basically, Fire King was not trying to hear what Mr. Shiny Knight was hearing, and basically he was so basically I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here and guard this, protect this. I'm just gonna stay here and protect this word. That's what I'm gonna do. So basically, you can get that. You two can get the hell out of my face. And basically, so basically, Mr. Shiny Knight and Miss Sweet Cake tried to do their best to try to get Fire Candle. You could do anything else. You could do anything else with your life instead of just staying here in this world and whatnot. And basically, if Fire Candle was not trying to hear that mess, and basically told Mr. Shiny and Miss Sweet Cake to go, and they just left. Anyway, meanwhile, so I've seen it's the next day. Hal was walking by. He saw two brothers, two brothers fighting. Two brothers fighting each other. And out of nowhere, we see Origa Red was trying to stop the brothers from fighting each other. But it wasn't working. And basically, it wasn't working. And basically, Hal decided to help him out. And basically, he threatened to beat the boys up if they'll stop fighting each other. And that's what Origa Red, what were they, hey, don't threaten those kids. And basically, he went along with Hal's plan, and basically, you get out of here, don't threaten those kids to beat up those kids, get out of here. So anyway, the boys, say, Geku from Serenus to that bad guy who threatened to beat us up and whatnot. And basically, Origa Red ganked Hal for the assist and whatnot. So basically, Origa Red said that I want to be so basically Origa Red. So basically, I've been working with my sensei, who was a past Sentai warrior, to help me become a better Red Ranger and whatnot, and set an example for future Red Rangers in Sentai as well. And basically, And basically, yeah. And basically, okay then. How it's okay then. That sounds like a decent goal. So basically, that's my, and basically, Origa Red, that's my wish. What's your wish? So basically, how I don't know what's my wish yet. I don't know what I'm going to wish for. If I do collect, once I do collect all the Sentai rings, I don't know what I'm going to wish for or whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the cafe, an arrow shot. So basically, we see the rest of the Rangers, in the cafe, and out of nowhere, this arrow came shooting into the cafe, and basically, I had the last Sentai ring you guys want, and basically, you Rangers come meet up with me and whatnot. The arrow had a note that said I had the last Sentai, I had the last Sentai ring you guys need and whatnot. So anyway. So anyway, so basically the Rangers, so basically the rest of the Rangers meet up with the person who shot the arrow with the message attached to it. It turned out it was Sasuke, who is from Kakuranger, who is the Kakuranger Red Ranger, showed up, and basically he said that, oh, basically I'm Sasuke, I'm Sasuke, Kaku Red. So basically Kaku Red showed up and basically started to fight against, use the Kakuranger ring to transform into Kakure and started to fight against the Rangers. Meanwhile, while talking to after Howard explains that he doesn't know where he's gonna wait for, and basically and that's what Origa Red says, like you haven't, so basically you don't know what you're gonna wait for, if you do collect all the Sentai rings yet, hoping that I will figure that out in my heart, and basically and that's what Origa Red was like, Origa Red is like, you're undecisive, and basically you do have good quality as a Red Ranger, but right now you're undecisive and whatnot, undecisive. So basically, maybe I should take those Sentai rings, or take your Sentai rings off your hands, and basically how started to fight against Origa Red. So basically, Origa Red has the power of origami, and basically they start to fight each other. And basically, how transformed into the first into the first Red Ranger using the Go Ranger ring. Then he transformed into Pack of Red. Then he transformed into Deca Red as well, using 3 different Sentai rings. But Origa Red's overcoming powers, help get the upper hand against Hal and whatnot. Meanwhile, Sasuke, the fight with Sasuke, Kaku Red, where the fight between Kaku Red, Sasuke, and the rest of the Rangers was not going very well. So basically, some transport into Zenkaiser, Kenshin transport into Die Ranger, and Riku transport into Magic Red, but Sasuke's ninja powers were too, since he's the ninja master, overwhelmed them and forced them to be transformed back into their original Ranger forms and whatnot. So basically, he was beating the crap out of the rest of the Sentai Rangers until Hal got forced to join up by Origa Red, and it turns out that Origa Red Sentai is Sasuke, Kakuranger Red, and basically, turns out that the Sentai he's been working with is actually Sasuke, Origa Red and whatnot. So anyway, so basically it seems like, so basically Sasuke was like, you guys are bad, like, you guys are not bad, but you guys need to rely on your other powers as well and whatnot. And basically out of nowhere we see this cloud showed up, and basically turns out that the Catechism college has revived himself. So basically turns out that it took a while for the Catechism Clouds to revive himself, and basically I'm here to get those Sentai rings, and once again rule the world and whatnot. So basically the Catechism Clouds has revived himself, and basically took down the Rangers, and basically took down the Rangers for one shot, and basically, Sasuke was forced to de-transform while the other Rangers, along with Origa Red, were still in their Ranger form and whatnot. And basically, they realized how powerful that the catechism Klaus is, and basically the episode ended with the Rangers staring at the new arrived catechism Klaus, with the Rangers staring at the new catechism Klaus, just laughing at them while they're all lying on the ground, and this is how the episode ended on this note. So basically, things are starting to heat up right now. So anyway, what do you guys think about starting to heat up now. So basically, we only got a few more episodes left to go of this Gozyuger, the final Sentai, the final Super Sentai, the final Super Sentai Gozyuger or whatnot. So anyway, what do you guys think about this latest episode of Gozyuger? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know in the comments if you love this podcast. Anyway, starting off from Screen Reviews 1.